Hello, subscribers. This is your August DIY subscription box tutorial. I hope by now you have received your box and are loving the design as much as I am. And I just think it's adorable. You have a picture to kind of give you reference. You have your paints. I have all mine. You can kind of see them. I just put mine in different cups, but yours are in the pods. You do have two greens. I wanted to tell you real quick before we get started. You have one that is like a darker green, and then you have one that is a light green. So if you get it and your dark green has like black streaks in it or something, go ahead and give it a good stir, because I actually mixed these up myself because this was a particular shade of green I wanted, and I didn't want to go buy it because I had a ton of green on hand, and I thought I'm going to use what I have to provide you with a good shade of green that I really enjoy. That being said, we're going to get started. If you are new, this was your first box and you bought it between August 1st and August 10th, you should have some paint brushes in that kit. Feel free to use whatever brushes you want. I particularly, and I have these in some of my videos and I tell you all the time, use what you're comfortable with, but I'm going to show you two of my favorite brushes that I particularly like to use. I will use these probably on all of my tutorials, so just know that. But I do like these, like this one right here is a filbert. I'm going to hold it up close. It's more rounded, and I feel like I have more control with this particular brush. And then get one that's, if you have a chance, get one that's angled. It really gets around all the lines and helps you out a lot. These are my two favorite brushes. I will use these all the time. I got them at Michael's in the clearance section, but you can get them at Hobby Lobby, Amazon, all sorts of places. So if you enjoy doing this and you want to try something new, grab you some good brushes. Okay, let's get started. Be sure to give this a thumbs up if you don't mind. It's just helping the YouTube page grow a little bit as we grow the subscription boxes. And subscribe to the page. That way you can easily find all your tutorials, because every tutorial every month will be here on YouTube. I like to start, and it's kind of just a preference for me. Again, when you're doing this, once you get the hang of it, start where you want, but we're going to start with the white. And I'm using my little angled brush. Many of you got a little round brush, or you have a square brush. Feel free to use that. Use what you're comfortable with. Whatever feels comfortable in your hand, that's what you use. So I want to go ahead. I always like to start with anything that's going to be white. And right now, starting out, we are literally just doing these little parts right up here of the eye. If I go too fast for you, push pause. That's the beauty of this. You can pause and play. If you need to go do something else and come back to it later, that's fine. Just push pause and catch back up in a little bit with me. So we're just going to go ahead and you can do two coats if you feel like it. Sometimes the wood does soak up the paint a little bit quickly, or a little more maybe even than what I would want. Don't worry about it if you get outside these lines with the white. This is why I like to do the white first, is because that darker paint is going to cover every bit of this. So I got out of my line because I'm not going to stress over it. Get a little bit more paint. It doesn't take a ton of paint. Like I said, you don't need to really blob it on, so to speak. I have had painters just, use a ton of paint. You don't need that. Again, you see I kind of get out of the lines. That's okay, because the black is going to cover it. This is his face, and it's going to be black. So let's just dab over here. This is why I start, like I said, with the white. Be sure when you get done, post it to the Facebook group, the page. I would love to see your finished product when you are done. Tag us. If you post it on your personal page, tag the Brush Canvas. I would love to see your work when you're done. Okay, so we're done with that one. And I think now what I want to do is we are going to go ahead and we're going to move to the yellow. Now you have a yellow, and what we're going to do is we're going to do all the yellow leaves for the sunflowers. But we're going to do a little bit of blending too. So we're going to do a coat of yellow, and then we're going to take our orange, and we're going to probably add a little bit of layering to it. If you're not comfortable with that, or you don't want your sunflowers to have that look, don't worry about it. Do it the way you want to do it. Again, this is your door hanger. You make it yours. So I'm just going to dab into the yellow. Again, I am using my filbert brush. You could use your 1-inch square brush. You can use whatever you are comfortable with. Your choice. But I'm just going to, oops, sorry if that's moving. And I am getting a new stand, so this will be at a different angle, hopefully for your September tutorial. Again, really, you don't have to be extra careful around the center because it is going to be brown, but I don't want to get carried away and it all turn an ugly color. So I'm going to try to be as careful as I can, but it's not the end of the world if you get in those lines. And if you are watching this and you don't have this subscription box, these are available through August. My website link will be tagged in the description. Hop over there to the website and order you one. You can get these where you can do them yourself, or I also offer a subscription box where you can have, I will paint them and ship them to you, where all you got to do is put the metal hanger on and slap your bow on and hang it on your door. They are a month ahead per season. So the August box, as you can see, is for fall, and I mainly geared it so you could have it for September. And your September box will be geared toward Halloween. And I'll tell you, I'm not a scary Halloween kind of person. It is actually a very cute, simple Halloween design. It is not as detailed as this one. I know some people probably are thinking, wow, that's really detailed. Yeah, but the lines are drawn on here for you. Basically, you can color in the lines. You can do my designs. They will vary, and that's what I love about them. I try to make them easy and relaxing. Again, if it starts to overwhelm you, pause the video, walk away, and come back, because it's not supposed to be stressful. Very relaxing. Anyway, we're just painting just each little petal. That's all you got to do. One step at a time. Take your time. If I'm going too fast, again, pause the video and catch up to me. I've been doing this a while, so sometimes I paint faster than others, and that's okay. If you don't paint that fast, or you're more OCD than probably I am, that's okay. All right, we're going to start over here on this leaf. Or I guess it's not a leaf, it's a petal. This right here is not a petal. Just so you know, this is part of the crow's body. So this is black. This is a leaf. This is going to be green. So now we're going to go over here by the foot. And it's okay if you get the foot a little yellow, because it's going to be orange and it's going to blend. So don't worry. This little piece right here is yellow. This is yellow next to the foot. Do I do my edges? No. I did right there because it was dripping, but I don't pay attention to the edges of this, because when it's hanging on a door or sitting on a shelf, you're not going to see those edges. Don't add extra work and stress to yourself when it's not needed. This is supposed to be relaxing and enjoyable. Let's see, this is a leaf. This is going to be a petal right here. This little bitty little part right here, that is a leaf. I mean, not a leaf, a petal, excuse me. So we're just gonna make a little triangle. Again, it's okay that I bled over a little bit. It's gonna get covered. So we're gonna move over here to the other foot, and we're gonna paint. This is gonna be part of a petal. This is a petal. Now this right here is part of the arm and shoulder of the crow. So we're going to leave it. That'll be black here in a minute. Okay. You with me so far? Hope so. Next, we're going to do this petal. Oop, I didn't get enough paint, excuse me. Now this is still all kind of wet, so this is when we're going to go back here in just a minute while it's still kind of wet, and we're going to do a little bit of blending with the orange. Let's get all these painted up here. This little bitty piece right here is yellow. This is a leaf. Here we go. Do you see that? Y'all following it? I'm double checking my picture and my picture here. Okay, now keep going. We're going to go up here to this leaf. We're going to make it an autumn leaf. We're going to put a base coat of yellow first. And just, sometimes I like to just follow the line. Again, it's just paint. Don't be scared. Okay. Okay. Got that leaf. And then we have our sunflower up here on the hat. So let's get its leaves done. Another idea you can do when we do the blending here in a minute is you can always add a little bit of brown to the leaves. I know a lot of sunflowers, I've seen a lot of, prints with sunflowers and they have the brown. That's okay. Again, I just like to outline it. And this is why I love this brush, because I feel like this size brush is really good for control, for like the curves, and you get some good coverage. There's another size one that I will use sometimes, and it's a lot bigger, so you can see the difference. Sorry. In the two, I love this one. It's just the right size, and it's actually a number 6. I left the sticker on it. It's a number 6 brush, if that helps. Okay, so now, and I'm not going to get carried away with the orange, but I am going to lightly tap it, and sometimes I will take it on my surface and just kind of like that, and then come in here, and I'm going to do just a little bit of the edges. And if you don't like the way it looks, dab it in the yellow and blend. If you don't want orange, then don't put orange, do brown. And I probably am going to come back and add a little bit of brown. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just adding. I'm literally just almost dry brushing it on, so to speak. Just giving it a little bit of dimension is all it's doing. Okay? So don't stress. If you don't feel comfortable doing this part, don't do it. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. I don't really like how yellow or orange that was. You see how it blended, made it even better? Can you see that? I can lift it up. That one petal right here, do you see how I went back over it with more yellow and just brushed it on? And now I feel like it's blending better. So add your orange, grab you a little more yellow, and just blend. And I'm just pulling it down, pulling it toward the center. That's all you're doing. Again, if you are not comfortable with doing this, you don't feel like you can handle this part, don't do it. It's not a big deal. Make it your own. Feel comfortable. And I'm just going in, and I'm gonna do it up here on this one just to give it a little bit different color, a little bit of dimension. And that's all I'm doing. This one, I want it to be a little more orange because I want it to be a little more fall. So add a little more orange to that one. Then I'm going to just lightly dab. And again, I have not cleaned my brush. You don't need to clean your brush yet. Dabbed it in the brown, and now I'm going to dab. And I don't want a lot. And it's going to be very subtle, okay? I'm just like literally, I don't know if you can see that. It's just a little bit, but I'm going to wipe it off on my surface. This is my parchment paper. Get you a paper plate, whatever. And just basically dry brush the edge in brown. If you want, just to, again, define your leaves a little bit more. Okay, no stress. If you don't feel comfortable, again, doing this, don't do it. It's not a big deal. Your door hanger is going to be adorable no matter what you do. Make it yours. I don't want you to ever feel like you have to do exactly what I do. I'm just doing it to show you techniques that you can do. I am by no means an art teacher. See how I just kind of blobbed it? I'm gonna move my camera just a little bit. See how I just kind of right here, I blobbed it? That's all you got to do. Nothing major. And just kind of, and I'm not pressing hard. I am light, like this is very loose in my hand. And I'm just lightly dragging my brush. That's all. Okay? So go in here and just, I'm kind of doing like little C motions back and forth on this one, just because it's a curved leaf. but seriously, make it your own. Okay, just add a little bit of, I'm gonna get that little bit of brown I had left. Make these up here, just got a little bit of brown in them. Okay, and there you have your sunflower leaves. I'm gonna hold it up so you can get an idea a little bit more. See, nothing to it. If, like I said, if you don't feel comfortable blending and doing all that I just did, don't do it. It's really not a big deal. It's not going to make or break your design at all. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush, so if it's loud or you hear cleaning, that's what it is. So next we're going to go ahead, since we're working with the orange, and I probably didn't have to rinse my brush, but I felt like I needed to. I'm going to take my brush and we're going to get the orange and we're going to do the feet and the beak. Now there are two colors and I want to make sure you can distinguish between the two. One is a coral. This is your coral, and one is a true orange. Okay, the true orange is what we are using for the feet and the beak. This is the overalls. I was trying to, my daughter-in-law actually helped me pick out the colors for this design because I was really stumped on what colors to do. My daughter did it in, she did the hot burgundy, but I wanted something more, I don't know, fall and on trend right now, so that's why we're doing the darker green. So we're going to dab into the orange, and you're just going to put a coat. I'm going to try not to put my hand in the paint, but it wouldn't be the first time. And we are literally just going to fill in the feet. Okay, take your time. No need to rush. If you get a little bit outside the edge, don't worry, because we do come back and we do the outlining to make everything pop. We will trace it in black in a little bit. And I'm going to show y'all some extras that you can get and some easy ways to trace if you're not comfortable tracing yet. Hope you put on some music, put on a show, something in the background. I was going to play music, but then it has a tendency to get flagged for copyright issues, so I didn't want to do that and mess up y'all's tutorial. So we're just going to have no music and we're going to paint. So I got that foot done. I'm going to dab into the paint again. Get it off my finger. And we're going to paint this one. Like I said, I plan to get me a different phone mount so that it'll be up over my head and you won't be seeing it sideways or twisted. So I do apologize for the moment for this video not being above me where you can see it head on. That will be changing. And my goal, this is for my subscription box people, and I'm kind of anxious for it to happen, is I plan to, after a short time, this is 19 inches tall. And I'll be honest, I love the size. It's a great starter size. But as we get going, I really think I want to make them a little bit bigger. I think I'm going to do probably 22 inches. I think I want to increase it to 22. That's kind of my ultimate goal for everyone. But just starting out, I thought, well, we'll start with 19 inches. I have most of the places I am seeing these as DIY kits are only doing anywhere from 12 to 16 or 18. And I really want us to stand apart. So I think it's not, the price is not going to increase because I increase the size. It's just my way of, I like to spoil people, and this is going to be my way of spoiling you basically. I think we are going to increase the size of the door hangers later on. It's not going to be it's probably not going to be in September. But hopefully by the end of the year, you'll have a little bit larger door hangers, just because I think it just stands out more. And to me, it's more fun. I mean, if I'm going to pay for it, I want something fun and big. That's just how I am. So I hope you'll stick around and continue. So we're going to go up here. I did both my feet. And I had enough paint on my brush. I didn't even have to dip it in there. We're just going to fill in the beak. And I'll go ahead and get a little bit more paint. I do wipe it a little bit just because I don't like it extremely thick, then it takes forever to dry. I'm just going around the edge of the beak and filling it in. You can still see the line of the beak on the inside, okay? It's fine. You will still be able to see it to do your true outlining with the black marker. Okay, so there we have that. You have your feet and you have your beak done in orange. Easy. I probably gave you way too much paint, but I always like to err on the side of caution and give you more than what you need. We're going to do the centers next of your sunflowers, so get your brown paint ready. I'm just rinsing that same brush I had. Grab what brush you're comfortable with. A simple round brush works. This little baby square brush would be good for this part too, because it's going to get around the edges just fine. And we're just going to dab, dab, dab. And we're just going to fill in. Fill in your circles, the centers of your sunflowers. Take your time. Push pause if you need to, come back. There we go. Got one done. We'll just go over here. And I think as I go between the toes here of the feet and kind of over here, I'm probably going to bring out that angled brush. Just because this one right here, yeah, that's a little too big. Let me get my angled brush out. I think I'd be more comfortable. So I'm going to use my angled brush again. If you don't have one, something this shape will work. Just something a little smaller to get in those cracks. Your little small blue handled square brush, if you have that on you or out with you that came with your kit, then use that. Or if it came with your kit, if you signed up and got the early bird special, it should have it in your kit. So we're just going to kind of, or if you have bought other kits, it will be in that kit too. You probably still have that brush. Oh, we're going to go over here between the toes here. Between the toes here. Okay. So that sunflower's done, this one's done, and we're going to go over here. And we're just going to carefully, and sometimes I'll stand it up so I can get that pointed edge. That's a little bitty piece of the sunflower. I'm going to move that out of the way because I keep trying to dip into it. Okay, and right here. Rounding the corners. In there, get a little bit more paint. Okay, so that sunflower's done, this is done, this is done. We're going to go up here and we're going to do the one on the hat. So let's just round this out. And there you have it. Done. Next up, let's go ahead and get our leaves. These are not leaves. Do not paint these green. This is actually the crow's hair, and it's going to be black. You should have a reference picture in your box. You can look at that for reference on what we're doing. Use your own colors, of course, like I said, if you don't want to do these colors. But let me get my brush good and cleaned here. Okay, so now we're using the lighter green. Again, I'm going to show you, you have a dark and you have a light. The light is the one that is your leaf. So let's get all your leaves painted. If you wanted your leaves to be a lime green, add a little bit of yellow and a little bit of white to your paint. Mix it on a paper plate and make it a little bit lighter. Nothing wrong with that. Get this leaf. Now, as you see on your painting, you have a line that goes through each leaf. Just because I'm covering that line up doesn't mean I'm not going to see it. It's going to show through the paint as it dries. So don't worry about, am I going to lose my reference line? No, you're not. It's there. Now, my edges are close, so I'm going to use my angled brush again. Again, if you don't have an angled brush, use your small brush, your little square brush, your little round tip brush, and just so you can get in some of those little smaller spots is the only reason for that. There and there. Okay. And then we're going to go right here as a leaf. Let's finish up this leaf. Okay, and then we have, this is a leaf, so we're going to paint it green. Again, I have probably provided you with way too much paint. Save it for another project if you need, or whatever. Enjoy it. I always end up providing way too much, I think, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So there's that one. Go around the edges. And then this up here is a leaf. So we're going to paint it. Again, if I am going faster than you're comfortable with, push pause, come back. Okay. There you go. And again, these are not leaves, so we're not painting those green, okay? All right, that's all of our green. So next, I'm just kind of working my way upward toward those colors. Just trying to start down here first, and then we're going to push our way up to the hat. So I think next, sorry if this is clinging, we're going to get our coral out. Remember, this is coral. This is not that orange. There is a difference. Let me hold my cups up here. There is a difference, you can see. We're doing coral, and we're going to work on his overalls. Now, I will tell you, we're going to cover those dots right here up, the buttons. We're going to paint them coral, because here in a minute, we're going to come back over them, and we can paint them black. You can paint them white. You can paint them silver. It'll be okay. Whatever color you decide you want to paint yours, you can do so. But it's easier just to paint over them, because the darker color is going to show through. Make sure I get all the green out of my brush here. Hang on. It's still got a little bit in it. Grab your favorite brush. I am also going to be bringing out my angled brush again, because there are some smaller corners and some creases, and I want to get my brush in there good. Plus, we got to get down here where there's a little bit of his overalls going to be showing. Okay, so I'm going to start with my bigger brush, and we're going to get in there. And this is the coral. If you see in your coral color too some streaks of maybe some pink and some white, just stir it, because I do like to mix my own colors a lot, and I like to customize them just to get it more of a preference of a color that I particularly want. And my coral I have been known to mix, so if it looks like it needs a good stir, just take your paintbrush, stir it up real good, and you'll be good to go. Or if you don't want your coveralls coral, go grab you a bottle of paint and paint them your own. Does not have to be what I provided you, but I just wanted you to have the paint in case this is what you wanted to do. I wanted it as simple and relaxing as possible for you. We're just kind of getting some of my thick lines out of there real quick. Okay, I'm gonna go real carefully around the sunflower, carefully around the leaf. If it gets into this little spot right here, it's okay because that's going to be black, so it's going to get covered. I'm just trying to be a little bit more careful around the sunflower so I don't have coral in my leaves, which actually might actually be pretty, so not a big deal. Okay, so the top half is done. Now, this is going to be part of the coveralls, kind of like the bottom part of his coveralls, where he's sitting. Oops, sorry if that moved too much. And we're going to go across. My green kind of got in my brush there, excuse me. There. So we got that piece done. All right, I'm looking at my picture here, the same one that you should have. You should have a picture. It's your reference, and I like to have my pictures as references when I'm doing these. So this has 2 lines. Don't ask me why we have 2 lines there. It's just part of the fold of the coveralls. Go ahead and paint over that line and go up to this one. This is going to be part of his leg. And this little triangle up above is going to be overalls. So let me dab in here. I don't want it real thick because I don't want it to bleed over into everything. I'm just going to lightly dab. This may take you a minute in these smaller spaces, and it's okay. Remember, it doesn't have to be really, really perfect. If you go over that line, remember it's going to be black. It's okay. It's going to cover. And there is your coveralls. So we have all of this part right through here done. We're doing the black last because that's going to be the one thing that can cover every mistake we have or we've bled over. So right now, I want us to go to our darker green. So I'm going to move my colors out of the way a little bit here. Now, on the picture, and we're going to do it with this, if you want, just know this is all your option. Make it yours. I say it all the time. If you can't, you know, this is just what I do. The inside piece right here, this piece and this little bit down here, are going to be the darker. The outer rim and the top, I'm going to mix over here on the side, the darker with a little bit of white, just to make it a tiny shade lighter. And that's going to be a little bit lighter. We'll do that together, but I want you to know you do not have to do that. If you want it all one color, make it all one color. This is your painting. You make it your own. I'm just kind of giving you a heads up as to what I personally am going to do. I love to mix my colors and blend and make it unique. And that's just kind of my way of teaching you something that I do. Everybody's different. You may have your own technique, and if you do, share it down below. I would love to read your ideas and what you like to do. I'm going to want both of my brushes again because there are some small angles. So let me get both my brushes ready. Okay, so we're going to start with the darker green. And I'm going to blend. Now, could I come back and just use this? Yes, but I don't want it to be this color on my hat. I really like this, more of this darker sagey green. Let's go around the line. I set my napkin down. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of hold it because it keeps moving on me. Again, I'm ready for a different camera angle for y'all, just so you can get a bit better idea. So I hope this works good enough for you for now. But if you guys see ideas on different fun painting techniques or a way to mix colors that you like to use, or